Did you know there's a Native American tribe that created their own written language? Before most Americans could even read or write? A tribe that built schools, ran a government, printed newspapers, and even had their own Supreme Court. All before they were torn from their homeland in one of history's greatest tragedies. This is the story of the Cherokee Nation, a story of brilliance, betrayal, survivals, and an unbreakable spirit. In the early 1800s, when America was still young and struggling to define itself, a Cherokee man named Sequoyah had a dream. Born in a small Cherokee village in Tennessee, Sequoyah noticed something. White settlers had an immense power. It wasn't their guns. It wasn't their numbers. It was their ability to write. They could send letters across great distances. They could record their laws, their agreements, and their histories. Words gave them power, and power gave them survival. Sequoyah realized something extraordinary. If we have our own written language, we can preserve our people forever. But there was one problem. Sequoyah didn't know how to read or write English. He had never seen a writing system up close. No one taught him. No one encouraged him. In fact, many Cherokee leaders laughed at his idea. Writing is for white men, they said, not for us, but Sequoyah refused to give up. Using nothing but symbols, memory, and raw determination, he worked day and night for years. He carved marks into wood and leather, testing sound after sound, symbol after symbol, until one day he created something incredible, the Cherokee syllabary, a set of 86 characters that could capture every sound of the Cherokee language. It was simple, it was brilliant, and it was ours. Within a few years, literacy rates among Cherokees soared. In fact, more Cherokee people could read and write their language than Americans could read and write English at the time. They published the Cherokee Phoenix, the first Native American newspaper. They wrote laws, songs, prayers, and stories. They built schools where Cherokee children learned both traditional ways and modern ideas. They established New Echota as their capital, a city with government buildings, a council house, and even their own Supreme Court. The Cherokee Nation wasn't just surviving, they were thriving. Imagine a Native American nation more organized, more literate, and more united than many states in the U.S. at that time. That was the Cherokee spirit. But success breeds jealousy, and greed knows no bounds. The Cherokee lands, rich in gold, timber, and fertile fields, became the target of settlers and politicians. In 1830, President Andrew Jackson signed the Indian Removal Act, giving the government power to seize native lands and force tribes westward. Despite signing treaties, despite adopting American ways, despite building a peaceful and advanced society, the Cherokees were seen as an obstacle. In 1838, betrayal struck like a storm. The U.S. Army rounded up the Cherokee people, men, women, children, forcing them into camps. They were given no time to prepare, no time to say goodbye to their homes. Under armed guard, they were forced to march over 1,000 miles westward in brutal winter conditions. This march became known as the Trail of Tears, and it was every bit as heartbreaking as the name suggests. More than 16,000 Cherokees began the journey. An estimated 4,000, one out of every four, died along the way. They died from hunger, disease, cold, and sheer exhaustion. Elders, who once taught the tribe's stories, fell silently by the roadside. Mothers buried their babies in frozen ground without ceremony. Children watched helplessly as their fathers disappeared into the snow. The government promised new lands a fresh start, but what they gave instead was sorrow. Imagine watching your entire world dissolve into mist and having no choice but to keep walking. But here's the miracle they don't tell you about in history books. The Cherokee survived. Broken but not defeated. Grieving but not hopeless. They rebuilt their schools. They rewrote their laws. They re-established their communities. They kept speaking their language. They kept singing their songs. They kept dreaming their dreams. Today, the Cherokee Nation is one of the largest and most powerful Native American tribes in the United States. Their language is taught in schools once again. Their stories are performed on stages. Their traditions are honored in powwows, festivals, and ceremonies across America. The Cherokee story is not just about survival. It's about resilience. It's about a people who refuse to vanish, who refuse to let the world forget them. Today, when you hear a Cherokee song, or read a Cherokee poem, or see the proud Cherokee Nation flag flying in the wind, you're witnessing a victory, A victory born from pain but fueled by unbreakable spirit. Never forget, history isn't made by those who conquer, it's made by those who endure. If you believe stories like these deserve to live on, if you believe history is about more than kings and battles, then subscribe to our channel. Because the spirit of the Cherokee lives on, and together we can keep their voices alive.